Welcome back to another video. This is our FPL show where we're going to be talking about the chips in play this week. Loads are on Wildcard, loads are on triple captain as well. We need to talk about the Cole Palmer injury and his suitable replacements. Maybe someone like a Bukayo Saka who's now back fit. But first up, we're with Nick and we're with Matisse. Matisse, you've got Cole Palmer in your squad, right?
Yeah.
That's a bad news this week.
That's bad.
For Chelsea and for FPL.
Yeah, I think he's going to be out for probably in the next 2 games. Because it doesn't feel like there's good news surrounding him, because it's either does he go for surgery, does he not? Regardless, I'm not expecting to see him next week. So he's not going to be here for Brighton. He's probably not going to be here for Liverpool, which means he's basically in my squad for no reason. I'll probably transfer him out, but I've also played a wild card last week, so things are not looking up.
Yeah, okay. Nick, any big flags in your team? Because Erling Haaland is one flag we need to discuss.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the same. So I've got Palmer as well, and I've got now it's frustrating having to worry about Erling Haaland, who is going to be a triple captain for a lot of users this week. But yeah, with Cole Palmer, I'm kind of in the same scenario because I also wildcarded last week, and I wanted to hopefully save my transfers because I wanted 2 or 3 in the bank for later moves. I'm a little bit stuck now because Cole Palmer, the closest one to him is a Bukayo Saka, or you could downgrade $1.5 million and go to a Bruno, or a little bit more, go to a Mbumo like Matisse has.
Yep.
It's thrown it up in the air now for me. But at the same time, I'm also a little bit worried about Gakpo as well, if I'm being completely honest. He came off, I think, 61st, and Wirtz went on the left, and now I'm a little bit worried is Wirtz going to start getting some minutes on the left?
We're now into that season of like injuries and flags.
Yes.
We saw Ekitike recarded. That's pretty big as well.
Yeah,
because that means that Isak should start. Is he ready for 90? We don't know. Let's talk about that Haaland flag though, because I've got a big issue with this flag, right? And I know the guys that do the flags at Official FPL, and I just think it's wrong that Cole Palmer has the same status as Haaland. We know Cole Palmer is not playing, yet he's on the same yellow flag as Erling Haaland, who Peppers said and was quoted on Wednesday night after Huddersfield saying, tomorrow we'll see. He was quoted earlier in the week saying on Tuesday, Haaland hadn't trained on Monday. But then he said, but none of the starters versus Arsenal were trained because it was a recovery day. So I feel like the quote's been taken massively out of context. I think he starts. We saw the early sub against Arsenal. I think he came off with 75 minutes to go, but he'd just played 3 games in 8 days. Yeah. He's managed that back pain for 3 brilliant games where he's performed. Against Arsenal, he was incredible. He's going to want to get his numbers up versus Burnley, and he's had a free midweek, right?
Yeah, that's something that you're looking at. Obviously, with him, he's a guaranteed goal machine, and I'm even thinking that I might be making a change live on air. I might be taking out Palmer to put in Foden, because I'm now thinking that Foden's guaranteed to play. He's on a bit of form, and also because Mamouche is out and Cherky's out, and like you said, City are playing Burnley. A lot of people are going to gravitate towards Haaland, but who's going to actually set him up? Who's going to create for him? It could be Phil Foden.
He looked good last night against Huddersfield. He scored from outside the box again. We're getting the Foden from 2 years ago.
Doku looks good as well.
I was going to say that they're the two.
Yeah.
Both of them look really good. Doku especially, I feel like
Doku's quite cheap.
I mean, we talk about those transitional moments against Arsenal, right? We spoke about it in depth. That's not going to be a reoccurring theme with Man City, certainly not. But even against a low block, we saw what Doku did to Luke Shaw, right? Rinsed Luke Shaw and set it up for Foden. So both Foden and Doku have been in my thoughts. But yeah, with Erling Haaland, I think you make a good point, because Cole Palmer, we're almost certain, is going to be out for, well, Matisse said the next 2, but definitely the next 1, right? And he's on a 75%, and Erling Haaland's also on a 75%.
It's mad.
So that is a good point, and that will throw a lot of users off potentially wanting to go for that triple captain this week.
Yeah, which in a way is a good thing, in an opportunity to be different. And of course, so many are on Wildcard, and if you're on Wildcard, you can't triple captain as well. We've got loads in the chat. FPL Mackham says, both Doku and Foden due to rise in price. So again, Matisse, if you are going there, going tonight or before midnight could be a good thing. Guys, if you are in the chat, then do hit that like button. If you're watching on catch up as well, hey to you guys, drop a comment, but also subscribes are very, very welcome. We would love you to let us know where in the world you're watching from today as well. Let's see how many obscure and random places in the world we have you guys watching from. All 4 corners, we hope. I want to just talk about Haaland and triple captaincy, because we've spoken about his flag. Just want to look at other windows to use the chip. So obviously this season we've got double chips. We have to use the triple captain before game week 19, and we'll get it again later. So historically, we hold to the end of the season, double game weeks, all of that jazz. We ain't going to get a double game week, very unlikely, before game week 19. So when we look at the options, I go game's two best players, Haaland and Salah, when are the good home fixtures for them? And I tweeted this tweet the other day where just highlighting the good fixtures for both Haaland and Salah. But I think this is as good as it gets for Haaland because Burnley are the weakest defence in the league from shots faced.
Are they?
Shots faced, I think they've conceded 90 odd shots. The next worst is Brentford at 70.
Wow.
Lowest expected goals against him is also Burnley. And Haaland, all those other good fixtures he's got, we'll see if we can bring this tweet up that I tweeted earlier in the week. Here we go. Leeds, Sunderland, West Ham, all those fixtures he's got a game like 3 days before.
That's a good point.
Burnley, he's had a full midweek rest. With Champions League, there's going to be so many games. And then you look at Salah's good fixtures. Well, two of them, he's at AFCON, Wolves and Leeds at home. Remember, these are just the home fixtures for the game's two best players. And I think ideally you want a triple captain at home. When he plays Forest, it's the first game after the international break, which I never love because of they're not in the groove. And then Sunderland for Salah's quite good, but Sunderland have been impressive, and he plays West Ham 3 days before that. So I'm looking at Haaland versus Burnley going, that's the only option where I go, I get a week off. And I feel like a week off for someone like Haaland, who's fit and firing at the moment, makes sense.
Can you imagine now? Because I can. Pep says, I've seen FPL, he's a 75% potential doubt. I don't want to risk him. Forget the medical team. I'm looking at that. Doesn't start against Burnley. Because it's Burnley.
The Pep roulette.
Because it's Burnley.
Without him.
Foden false 9. Maybe Savinho and Doku on the flanks. Rest him for later on in the season.
Champions League next week as
Champions League as well. That would be a killer blow to I'm not trying to make anybody second guess their picks and influence, but I'm just saying, if you've got triple captain Haaland and he doesn't start, boy, that's going to be a lot of rage.
So he plays Burnley on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Saturday. And then who's this? And then Champions League, they've got... Who have they got Champions League? They have got...
I feel like it's
they've got Monaco away on a Wednesday. That's not too bad.
Good timing.
That's not too bad. No, the point you make about the Leeds and Sunderland game is actually is a good point, because those were the two games that I was looking at.
Yeah. And even after that Sunderland game, 3 days later, it's Real Madrid.
Right.
There's always going to be distractions. I feel like Monaco on a Wednesday from a Saturday 3 o'clock, this is as good as we're going to get. And it's at a time when he's actually fit and firing.
He always starts on fire, doesn't he?
Mate, I don't think we've seen Haaland this good at Man City.
You say that, but this is statistically his worst ever start. Would you believe that? This is statistically his worst ever start to a season at Man City.
That goal he scores against Arsenal last week, does he score that goal in years gone by? I'm not sure he does. He looks hungrier than ever. Yard as well. I think rapid.
I think it was more to do with maybe Pep than Haaland. I think Haaland for me has always been capable of scoring those types of goals.
Yeah.
It's more Pep.
Fair.
Is Pep going to utilise Haaland to his strengths? Is he going to play to his strengths? And I think so far we're starting to see, maybe because City are not as good as they've been. When City are a better team, they want to dominate more, they want to control more, they want to be more in the opposition's half. But now that City are they have had a bit of a rebuild, they have had a bit of a drop off, it's actually allowing for Haaland to maybe even play better, because he's now getting all that space to run into. I think Haaland's going to have a great season. As long as they keep playing those passes in behind like we saw against Arsenal, he's going to score truckloads of goals. So it's an interesting one. But is Salah and Haaland guaranteed to have to be that triple captain? Can we spice it up? Can we go for a Gyökeres? Can we go for a Isak?
A Gyökeres against a sort of like a West Ham.
West Ham next
smashed
week.
them both.
There you go.
Game week 7, he's got West Ham.
It's not a worst shout.
That's a great pick.
Once
Graham
Isak
Potter's
gets
still
going
there.
is another one as well
If
that
Graham
you
Potter's
could
still in
look
that
at.
job, that's a great pick.
You don't want to be playing West Ham when Nuno or someone's just come in.
Yeah.
But for as long as Potter's there, I do like Saka or Gyökeres against West Ham next week.
I think I'll probably do that, because I think West Ham, they're guaranteed to give away goals. They've been doing it all season.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Really bad.
Saka, I feel like, things with Saka, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he's a little bit more consistent over a season rather than a hauler. Like
explosive.
He rarely get 2 goals a game. Very rare. But Gyökeres, we saw what he did against Leeds, right? So
flat track bully.
Exactly. So for someone like Matisse who hasn't got Haaland or a Salah, then something like a Gyökeres makes sense. But if you do have one of Haaland or Salah, it's too hard to ignore, especially with the form that Erling Haaland's in. And we spoke about sort of the high line and how Man City adjusted, but playing the way they will, they'll still score a load of goals. They like we saw that they put 4 past Wolves first game of the season. We could see a repeat, something similar, 100%.
You need that early goal. Some have said, Burnley against Liverpool. Liverpool won late with that penalty, 90th minute.
Yeah,
that was at Turf Moor though. I feel like the newly promoted teams, when they're on the road, and it's game state dependent, if Man City score early, the floodgates could open. Let us know in the chat what you're doing. If you're on triple captain Haaland, why? If you're not, why? Keen to see some answers there. Let's go back to Matisse's team, and then Nick will do your team as well. And Nick, I know you had a bit of a stinker last week with 2 9-pointers on your bench. That's got to hurt. But Matisse, in terms of your transfer this week, what are you thinking?
I've just made it live on air. That's the level of preparation, you know what I mean, we're dealing with here, because I've been stressing about it all morning. And do you know what? I felt like there was a bug in the app. They wouldn't even let me make the change to
I had to log in.
I saw Son. I saw players that weren't even in this country.
Still there, yeah.
I was like, what's going on right now? So I
just made the change.
Yeah.
What have you done?
Doku's come in.
Burnley.
Do you know why? Because I'm saving the money as well. The amount of money. I'm sorry.
Differential.
With Palmer, and maybe the press conference tomorrow will make me, change my mind. But right now, I can't see how Palmer's playing. After what happened last week, Eze not starting. All of these sorts of silly things going on. Isak obviously didn't start. I had him in. I need someone on that pitch at least, and Doku's on that pitch. And I think I'm saving a lot of money. I'm putting it in the bank. And I've already now foresight. I'm saying triple captain probably Gyökeres next weekend. So the weeks, I don't know. We're looking at something for the next week.
And captain this week, will you stick it on Semenya or will you go to Doku with the armband? Because you could go to. Isak's going to start as well with no Ekatike.
Ekatike, yeah. Isak? So might have played a bit of a blinder there last week. Now Ekatike is suspended. I'm actually looking at João Pedro against Brighton as well, because Crystal Palace got a good defence.
We smashed them last year, didn't we? At home? Was that
4-2,
the Cole Palmer 4-goal game?
Hat-trick, yeah. So if someone's going to take that responsibility on, it will be guaranteed to be João Pedro. So I think against his old club as well,
he'll take the pen if we get it. Do you reckon?
He's got to take that pen. Enzo Fernandez took it on game week 1.
Yeah,
I think,
that was a surprise.
Bit of a shock, but I'm looking at João Pedro as a potential option. I don't even think Enzo Fernandez necessarily deserves to start that game. I'd probably go Andre Santos and Caicedo. He's not in a great form, Enzo. So if there is a penalty, it could be João Pedro.
I like that, mate. Your team is well set.
I keep thinking that too.
It looks good.
It doesn't end that way for me every week.
Can it produce? Eze scored again for Arsenal, of course, last night as well. He's starting to look really sharp. Nick, let's see your team and just touch on the 2 players you benched last week.
Oh, pain. Senesi and Reinders, who both got 9 and 9. It's 18 points just sat on my bench, while Van der Ven got me Juan, and Javi got me Juan, and Javi had a sitter that he didn't take. So a lovely 2 points from Spurs there when it was 18 on my bench. So yeah, that was pain. Didn't have the best of weeks last week, 37 points overall. But this week, I feel like there is no... This is so frustrating, right? Because I got rid of Cole Palmer before the Brentford game. He then comes on the Brentford game, scores. I bring him back in the wild card because he was looking good, scored against Bayern.
Yeah.
First game back, comes off within 20 minutes against Man United, injured and out potentially for 2 weeks. So I've missed all the game weeks where Palmer's basically put anything up, and I've had him for all the ones that he hasn't.
That's FPL.
So that is
FPL, isn't it?
Yeah, so I do... Matisse saying that he's going to be out for 2 game weeks makes me think...
Could be more, though.
It could be.
Like, they've even spoken about
But the international break is coming soon, so you'd think
Another one.
Yeah, exactly. So you'd think that surely after the next international break he comes back.
You'd hope so, yeah.
But either way, I am thinking about getting rid of him, and ironically... I'm even thinking about Bruno Fernandes again somehow. I don't know how this has happened, but I'm here again.
Is he the standout United pick? Because... Mbeumo seems to be passing the eye test, but not necessarily converting. And he's $1 million less. I know he's in Matisse's team. I also like Mbeumo. Cunha's going to be back, should be this weekend. Is Bruno still head and shoulders?
For me, it's hard because Mbeumo has the highest ceiling probably, because if he starts bagging, and if you can sort of get that consistent route to goal for him, then he's got a higher ceiling. But Bruno Fernandes is just that more consistent player. You know he's going to start every week. You know he's going to take every pen. You know he's going to take free kicks. Defcon points there as well. So Bruno Fernandes is still the one I would go to, but Mbeumo is interesting as well. But also, I still don't know what to expect from Man United, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. I still don't know what to expect. It's like, we beat Chelsea, but that was an anomaly of a game. Can't really trust it. So then there's Saka, but Saka, that hamstring injury also worries me a little bit. It feels like it's a little bit reoccurring now.
Is Arteta going to flog him? Like, he's got to be careful. But we've seen it in the past. He comes back from an injury, Saka, and he still plays like... I didn't expect him to start last night,
Port Vale. Yeah, I know.
Now Madueke's injured as well.
Yeah, 2 months. 2 months, exactly. So Saka's right back to being where he was last season, where Arteta needs him every week, week in, week out.
You think Ranieri would get more of a look in?
Yeah.
Because he's just a year older, but who knows?
Well, I think yesterday he played sort of in that Odegaard position.
Yeah.
So I think that's where Arteta kind of prefers him. Maybe a Max Dowman could get some minutes, but he's still 15 years old. You know, how much do you really want to expose him to minutes in Premier League? So I do think Saka will get lots of minutes, but I worry about his injury record a tiny bit.
It's not the best entry point for Arsenal for those on wildcard either. When you look at the fixture ticker long term, Arsenal have got the best fixtures. From game week 7, that entry point of West Ham is amazing. You want triple Arsenal for that. But go into St James's Park this week, Matisse, us Chelsea fans know well too. Like, that is a tough trip. Do Arsenal expect, like, if you're on wildcard, do you still go with triple Arsenal because their fixtures long term are good? Or do you go entry point against Newcastle, maybe just Gyökeres and one other, and play it a little bit slower with Arsenal?
Thing is, it's difficult with Arsenal because they've got a very good defence. So you would assume that you could still take that gamble and actually it could pay off because, you know...
Raya and Gabriel has been popular on wildcard, that combination, and then you go for one of the attackers.
I don't see that... I could be completely wrong here, but I just don't see it to be a high-scoring game, especially after what happened last week with Arteta picking that team. He's under a bit of pressure. You can see he's a bit snappy in his press conferences. And when managers are under pressure or they feel like they got a point to prove... I don't feel like being expansive and making the game stretched at St James's Park is going to be his go-to method. I think he's going to probably going to condense it even more.
Yeah.
He's probably going to pick the same midfield. And it's arguable, it's an argument to say that what people wanted him to do last week and what he actually did is probably makes sense for this week because you don't want to go to Newcastle and maybe open up that midfield without the midfield three he had. So I actually see it maybe being quite a ugly, nasty game because it always is at St James's with Joe Linton and whatnot, and it's just a 1-0 and it's just a really low scoring game, and maybe then you still get good points from defenders, but it's an interesting one.
I think the only change I could see, obviously Saka will come in because Madueke is injured, but then Eze could come in for a Trossard. Possibly. There was a lot of Arsenal fans who were upset at seeing him on the bench in the first place.
Yeah, he's had a couple of assists and a goal already in his first.
He came on against City and picked up
the assist.
Got the assist, exactly. So, but it's hard because I'm tripled up on Arsenal defenders. So I've got Gabriel, Raya, and Timber.
Could be a 0-0. I like that.
It could be a 0-0.
Newcastle have had. I think they've had 3 0-0s this season. Newcastle.
Have they? Oh yeah,
many.
Leeds,
Bournemouth last week.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. So what I've gone with right now is I've got Van de Ven in because he's got Wolves at home.
Yeah.
I've got Senesi in because it's Leeds away and I could see that potential. And then I've kept Gabriel and Raya in because I got Dubravka on the bench away to Man City anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave Timber on the bench just in case Arsenal do concede, and I'm okay with Van de Ven and Senesi anyway. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And also Gabriel has goal threat as well. Mustn't forget.
Yeah.
Corners.
Yeah, we haven't had one of them for a while, but it feels like he's close. He's
he's
close
always
on those.
there and about.
With Saka back in the team, the corners are a little bit different. Rice and Madueke are going for the floated near post quite often. The only one in that team that can whip it back post is Saka. And Gabriel scores a lot of those back post headers.
He can do. Yeah, we've seen it from... Yeah, we have.
Thank you guys for everyone in the chat. Keith says, like and subscribe. Keith's in Australia. Listen to the man. Jeez. Do hit those buttons. Browen Green looks like Artapaz, says Mark, not Mark. What does that mean? Who's Artapaz? I don't even know who that is. Should I know that? It's a
coded message. I don't know.
Don't know, but thanks for the super chat.
Cheers,
ZAR is the currency. Where's ZAR? What currency is that?
ZAR, is that?
I think.
Is it?
Oh, coming with the knowledge. I'm going to check that while you...
Don't know. Anyway, we appreciate that, Mark.
So.
Hopefully our tapas isn't... Well, let's not even go there. Guys, we're going to go Gyökeres versus Saka then. Where are we all at? I'm going to show you the wildcard team I've produced. I have put Gyökeres in... Is it South Africa, Nick?
Yeah, it is South Africa, yeah. I gave him the nod of approval.
I was just there this summer, so it was easy one for me.
There you go.
It was easy one for me.
A wildcard team could shape up with like Raya, Gabriel and Gyökeres I've gone with. I'd still go Virgil just long term and then DEFCON defenders like Senesi, Anderson. Alderete at Sunderland picks up DEFCON. FPL Mackham in the chat's going to be happy I've picked him. Xhaka could be the best of the 5 millions because he gets DEFCON but also assist threat. Reinders, Semenyo, Bruno and Dyer all in there. This is with no Salah and no Liverpool attacker, which scares me a little bit. But I do like this wildcard setup for those that run it. If you're on wildcard, let us know who you're going with and if you're going with Saka or not, because Saka could be a wildcard punt to be different. Everyone is going Gyökeres, but where would you go? Where would you guys go? Matisse, are you Saka or Gyökeres if you could only pick one?
Gyökeres, definitely.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I've got Gyökeres and Eze at the moment. I think I might bench Eze, but then I'll probably have Gyökeres from the start at Newcastle. Just don't even know if Arteta's going to start Eze anymore, honestly.
No, he will. He has to, surely. I think I agree, though. I think I would go Gyökeres over Saka as well.
Yeah.
Just I think with Havertz out, Gyökeres will start week in, week out. Saka, there could be a bit of rotation, like we said earlier. He's not really got the potential to haul like Gyökeres does. So no, I do like it. The Liverpool attack is interesting as well. You said there's no Liverpool attack.
Yeah.
It's hard with Liverpool right now. it's really hard. Like I went with Gakpo on my wild card just because I wanted an in with the Liverpool attack.
Yeah.
And he gets subbed in 60-something minutes. So
yeah.
And then Wirtz, don't know what's going on with him.
Mate, he's dropped in price now to I think 8.2.
Yeah,
I've
well,
lost 0.3 on Florian Wirtz.
Has he had any return?
Not a single
Even a death
return.
card, nothing.
No.
And a benching last time out.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that quite coming. I didn't think we'd get a benching from the record signing yet. But the next two fixtures are Palace away. That's a tough trip going to Selhurst Park. And then it's Chelsea away. This is why people are able to sell Mo Salah to get to Haaland, because they just look at those next two fixtures. After that, though, it's Man United at home, good fixture. And then the fixtures are quite good again. Yeah. But, you know, Ekitike is a problem. There's quite a few in the chat looking to sell Ekitike and move into, say, Gakpo. So if we're looking at Liverpool attackers, let's rank them. Obviously, Salah won, but money's often an issue.
Yeah.
Do we prefer as a second option, if you're covering the Liverpool attack, save the money, go Gakpo, spend the money, go Isak, but not get 90 minutes, or keep the faith in Wirtz? They're the three.
Oh, that's tough.
I've got Isak for me. I just feel like I've run out of patience with Florian Wirtz. I haven't got much time left on this game if I keep waiting for him to do something. Gakpo, I've already said last week, I think is a mad risk to take, just purely because that left-hand side for me is so unpredictable. Yeah. And now Ekitike is suspended. I think that kind of cements Gakpo's place against Palace. But long term, I don't really know if Gakpo is going to give me enough return. So yeah, I think Isak for me is guaranteed to start. I know you're saying about 90 minutes, maybe you're kind of playing with fire there, but I think you're doing that with all strikers. I could see Haaland always coming off maybe a bit early at times. I could see same for Gyökeres as well. If Arsenal feel like the game's wrapped up or they want to rest him, I feel like a lot of strikers are going to get rested,
especially with Champions League fixtures.
Yeah.
That's why someone like a Semenyo or a Bruno, Bournemouth United, no European fixture. You can give him 90 every week. You've not got to think about the Tuesday night fixture or the Wednesday night fixture. Gyökeres, he's had a 67 and a 59 already this season in the first 5.
Saka, I think, will be rotated. Well, not rotated, but taken off a lot as well, just to protect him. So we're not going to get many 90 minutes out of a lot of these guys.
Yeah. No, I do think Isak is probably the number 2 there at Liverpool, but there is something brewing between those two, Ekitike and Isak. The top off, which by the way was so just over, like you just scored a tap in again.
Yeah, but why were they booking him anyway? He didn't. It's not like he had a top underneath the top.
But it doesn't matter if you take off.
It's naive though. You got to know the rules as a Premier League.
Yeah, you got to know the rules, but also, like, I'm sorry, you scored in the Carabao Cup, which were given to you on a plate by Chiesa. And you've taken off your top to show to the fans, mate. It's the EFL Cup. Like,
it's giving insecure.
It is. It is a little bit. It is. So yeah, but there's something brewing between those two. But I think.
Do you think Ekitike moves to Liverpool if he knows that Isak move's going to happen?
Well, I saw reports that he didn't. That he was expecting to be the one and only striker signing that summer.
He's playing like he can be.
He is.
I'm really excited to see how those two work.
He started really
well.
If they
work together or if they're going up against each other. Hopefully it's the latter.
I think
he can play on the left.
Be a lot more interesting.
I heard Arne Slot also say that he doesn't see Ekitike on the left, and actually, I think so. Gakpo's got that left wing spot to his own. I think I've said this before, but I think Wirtz eventually becomes more of a left winger.
Yeah,
because I think the midfield with Szoboszlai, McAllister, and Gravenberch is too good. I don't think he wants to break that up against Everton. That first half was, I think, their best overall performance. Florian Wirtz doesn't give you enough in a 10, so I could see him being moved out to that left.
I could see Florian Wirtz being in McAllister's position at some point, not as deep, but Ekitike and Isak starting as a 2, and they're both capable of dropping into the pockets. They're both capable of maybe floating out wide. I remember that incredible dribble Isak did in the cup game. I think it was Everton, was it?
Yeah,
he dribbled past like 5 or 6 players to set up an assist.
Yeah,
I don't know. Slot's got a lot of options to him in terms of like flexibility, positions for these players. I'm excited to see what he does because I feel like the form that Ekitike is in, he's got to play. And this is why I worry about Gakpo, because I feel like Wirtz, like you said, could go off that left-hand side. And then it becomes very muddy.
But he shot himself in the foot with that red card. Not only because he misses the next game,
which he would have started because Isak started the EFL Cup.
Exactly, and also I don't think Arne Slot liked it. You see, in his interview, he said that he's generally not a fan of taking off your top anyway. And he even said, why would you? Something along the lines of like, especially not when Chiesa set it up for you. It's not like so. I don't think he liked it very much.
It wasn't a moment of magic.
No,
it was a tap in. By the way, Chiesa, what a game! Like he's been robbed. But
it was Messi that started that against Real Madrid, wasn't it?
it?
The hold up the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a fall from grace.
That's what I mean. Yeah, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Quality control needs to be.
yeah, honestly.
We've spoken about Wirtz as a flop, and he's been a massive flop so far in FPL. Maybe not for Liverpool fans, might not agree, but from FPL perspective, no returns. He's dropped in price, I think, 0.3. Another one, and the one in my squad that's killing me each week. He's still over 10% owned. Is Ollie Watkins. Let's just talk a little bit about Aston Villa, because they've got the fixtures, right? It's Fulham at home this week, and it's Burnley at home the weekend after. But fixtures are only good fixtures if the team scores goals and wins games, and at the moment they're not doing either. I mean, it was a Matty Cash long ranger. Is Matty Cash not in your team anymore? Did you wildcard him out?
I wildcarded him out. And then he goes and scores. That's my luck this year.
That's
Crazy.
tough. But
Yeah.
I mean, like, is Ollie Watkins going to start? Surely it's a case of when, not if, he starts scoring goals again, right? He's a proven Premier League striker. Should I be selling him ahead of Fulham and Burnley, or?
You shouldn't have to. But the start Villa have had, it would be under consideration. Just purely because as well, I think Ollie Watkins, I have a feeling with him. I said it last season. I feel like there's a drop-off coming.
Yeah.
I feel like that I saw a lot of missed chances. I saw the way Duran kind of eased himself into that team before the January move. I just see little bits of him maybe not being up to the level he's been over the last few years, and he's not really going to hit the level of goals everyone kind of expects. I can see a tailing off coming. So that's just a gut feeling. But for those two fixtures, you'd think that you could keep him in there. Obviously, there's a lot of creation behind him. I'm not sure if it's always going to be the most consistent creation. There's obviously Elliot, there's Sancho, there's weird options.
It's not consistent.
It's a strange team that they put together. Obviously PSR issues, but I don't know if Emery's even going to be in the job for much longer. Let's see.
True. And there's something brewing between Watkins and Emery. We saw, I think it was Monday Night Football, he came out and was like, I've been knocking on the manager's door, because Rashford came into the squad, and in big games Watkins was left out. I think it was the PSG game.
It was the Champions League. He in that interview he really came out and was like, he said it how it was. Like he didn't hold back. So there is something there. And also another thing you got to keep in mind is Europa League. So they're playing today, for example, against Bologna, and then obviously Sunday. But
they've got to give that a go, haven't they? Like they've got to
go for it
against opposition like Bologna. It's not going to be the B team, is it? They're going to go full strength.
No, and as well, Unai Emery is Mr. Europa League. Yeah, he is. So he will go for it.
Yeah.
And if he's looking at the Premier League table already, thinking, we're in a bit of trouble, then maybe he does shift focus a little bit more to the Europa League, and that could be their potential in the Champions League next season. So, but I even think just like the options behind them, like I'm not convinced by Harvey Elliott. Jadon Sancho. You know what I mean? And then beyond that, it's like Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers
has been poor this season.
What's happened to him?
So bad this season.
Poor.
So bad this season. Last year he looked so good.
Think he wants to move?
I think
Chelsea were
there's
linked,
quite
weren't
a
we?
few players that want to move from Villa.
But that's not the way to do
they've
it.
fallen out with the manager, like Watkins, like you said, potentially. So.
It just feels like it's gone stale a little bit. Has he squeezed everything out of it that he possibly could? Is it coming to the end of his tenure? Maybe. But the thing is, Unai Emery, he's got credit in the bank. He will be backed. But it's been a poor start. And that's partly one reason why I did wildcard, because I had triple Villa and it was killing me week in, week out.
Yeah.
When Matty Cash scored.
I know.
So
Don't even. And the worst part is, I started
Conza, didn't you? You got red card and you bought.
No. Who were they playing? Sorry. Burn. No.
Was this last week?
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was
so they were playing.
They were playing. Not Brentford. Sorry, Everton. Everton away.
Everton away.
Was it? No, sorry, Sunderland.
Oh yeah,
Sunderland.
10-man Sunderland.
10-man Sunderland.
Yeah, that's the one.
And they struggled.
Yeah.
Sunderland with 10 men and looked the better team. That's alarm bells.
That is.
I think you're right with Emery being like towards the end of his tenure. It does seem to be.
But it doesn't help, I think, to get, like, being in the Europa League now, having to rotate. I think they've even got some injuries, Villa, as well. I was looking, because they've got a very deep squad when everyone's fit. But they
like Tielemans hasn't been playing last few weeks. I think he's out.
No Tielemans, no Onana, I haven't seen in a while. Barkley's another one. So there's a few injuries.
And Barkley was good for them last year as well.
Yeah, when he played.
I think Lindelof was a pretty clear. That signing there was a pretty clear indicator that Villa are not looking good right now financially.
Need a squad man. He came out and called him lazy after the game, Emery, as well. Again, he's like when you're turning your own players.
Emery does have that in him. He has that little switch sometimes. Yeah. You see him in interviews and press conferences.
Even Buendia starting. I mean, what's going on?
Over Harvey Elliott, they've just paid big money for, like, who Villa fans want to see him. I stupidly had Harvey Elliott in my FPL team at 5.4 million. I thought he was a good punt.
That's a really good price.
Yeah, but he's not in the games. It's a weird one. Everton this week might have the standout fixture, because I think we're all looking at fixtures going, this is like we can absolutely target teams like West Ham.
Yeah.
How do we feel about the low socks ballers at Everton? Because on the bench you've got Tyler Dibbling, who's like proper low socks baller, but the three before the number 9, right? The three behind Tino, Barry or Beto, whoever starts. Jack Grealish, low socks baller. And low socks baller. And now Dewsbury Hall, low socks baller. We didn't think we'd see this with David Moyes. Like, he's actually playing these creative, fun, front foot attacking players. And all three of those players I've just mentioned are good FPL assets in their own right.
Very.
Who would you pick highest if you could only have one on, say, a wildcard? I had Ndiaye on my wildcard team because he has pens, but him and Grealish, same set of price. And then Dewsbury Hall for value is like 5 million.
Yeah, I've got actually Dewsbury Hall just purely for valuation to save money from other places.
Playing number 10.
And because of the way he is able to play, I feel like he's more likely to complete a game. Now, I might be completely wrong. Maybe he hasn't completed
I think he's had 90 every game. I don't think he's dropped a minute.
Yeah, so Grealish and Dye, I can see them coming off for a Dibbling. I can see that kind of rotation becoming a thing. And with Dewsbury Hall, I just think there's a nice link to the midfield that keeps him in there for maybe some tackles, some interceptions, just getting a bit busy off the ball as well. So, yeah, I like Dewsbury Hall as a pick, but I think they're all great picks, I'll be honest. I think they're all in really good form. There's a really good feel and vibe about the place. And that game at home to West Ham is a banker. If you could have all three, you'd probably pick them. That's how bad West Ham have been. They are shocking. So, I'm actually kind of annoyed that I don't have another Everton player, but I don't. So I don't know if I should.
It could be the game Potter gets sacked, I guess, or maybe he gets Arsenal in 7, and then it's the international break, and that's more likely a window for Potter to go.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, he's got the one win against Forest. Everything else has been a loss for Graham Potter. But yeah, with Everton, so not in order of like how I rate the players, but in terms of FPL assets, I probably got Ndiaye, Dewsbury Hall, and then Grealish. And the only reason why I put Grealish last is because I feel like he's often the guy to pick it up. Deep, drag Everton up the pitch, and he might be the pass before the assist. And that's the only reason why he's there for me.
He has the lowest goal threat in a way.
He's not there to
high assist threat.
Stat pad. He's there to make everything fluid.
Yes, he's the most beautiful to watch by far.
It's so good watching him.
So good, and I'm so happy he's at Everton. Yeah, he wasn't the same player at City. He just wasn't.
Pep drilled him to death.
He did. It was the same thing, and it worked for the treble year. I guess you could say that, but beyond that, it wasn't great. But Ndiaye, like you said, penalties, and I feel like he's just a bigger goal threat. Dewsbury Hall. 5 million, 90-minute man. You actually made me think about Ndiaye with Palmer. Do I want to save a load of money rather than go for a Bruno or a Saka? Do I want to save a load of money for a potential Isak upgrade later on or something of the sort? Yeah. Do I downgrade to an Ndiaye?
There's some good fives in this right now. I feel like the price point of like 10 million down to like 8 is really risky in FPL in midfield right now. Yeah. And the fives are actually really good. Yeah. I like there's a lot of fives.
There's loads, 5.5. Tijani Reinders, Elliot Anderson, the Everton, like Dewsbury Hall. So like good value. That's why you can have Haaland and Salah, because there's so many good budget neighbours. The chat saying, Michael rightly points out, and Dye also picked up Defcon last time out. And strangely enough, wide forwards, and Dye and Grealish, should not be getting Defcon points. In fact, I can't name a single other wide forward this season that's had them. But randomly, both Grealish and Ndiaye have picked up Defcon this season. Again, something Moyes has got them doing is working hard off the ball.
Was that the game against Liverpool, Anfield?
Might have been. Right. Ndiaye was last week. Grealish was a few weeks ago. So yeah, probably.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. I see.
But it's like, you're doing something right on the training ground, Moyes. Like, he's given them the opportunity to play high up the pitch and create lots, but also they are working their literal socks off down beyond their shin pads.
Ankles.
and they're getting Defcon, so fair play. That Everton team's exciting. James Garner as well, by the way, is a bit of a Defcon beast, and he scored a long ranger as well. Like, that Everton team's great. Tarkowski continues to again get defensive contributions. He's 5 from 5 now. Him and Senesi, the only two that are 5 from 5.
Would it be crazy if I started loading up on Defcon midfielders and just forgot all about the goals?
Mate,
there's too many inconsistent attacking midfielders in this game. I might just have to go all on Defcon.
Elliot Anderson for Forest last night. Not that I even look at Defcon on European fixtures, but he did hit Defcon.
No way.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I know, man. I know. What am I spending my Wednesday nights doing? Adding up tackles, interceptions and blocks from Elliot Anderson playing Real Betis.
Unreal.
But yeah, he's got it too. And Reinders last week, by the way, this is random stat of the day, right? I think this is quite interesting. Tell me in the chat if this is far too nerdy for you, but you need 12 as a midfielder to get Defcon. Man City Arsenal was the final game of the window, right, of the game week. Reinders hits 12, but FPL take their stats from Opta. Opta then post-match changed it from 12 to 11 defensive contributions to Reinders, which means he wouldn't have got the 2 FPL additional points. But it was after an hour after the game, and by then, because they were the final game week of the game week, it cut off. Managers have been given their points, right? So if you own Reinders, like me, you got lucky, you got 2 points, you should have got 0. Or if you're Nick and you bench Reinders, you're probably actually hoping that's taken off. But yeah, they take crazy. The Opta numbers.
Opta numbers.
Was that interesting or far too nerdy? Let us know.
No, that is cool. That is cool. I didn't know that it can, once it's locked in, it's got to be locked in, even if the stats change.
Yeah, and because some of those things are like, oh, did he get a toe to that? Was that clearance? Else, like, you probably need to review it post-match, which is interesting. Look, let's talk about just finally, like, captaincy in general this week and where we're going. Who are the big options? Obviously, it's Haaland, but away from Haaland, who do we like? Like, who are the perhaps left field captaincy options? Do we stick within Man City? If you own a Foden, do you go there? Could you still go with a Salah versus Palace, or do you not like the away fixtures? I mean, Nick, anyone jumping out to you?
If I'm looking at fixtures, I would say Tottenham have a good fixture, home to Wolves. So if you've got a Kudos, he's doing quite well. Javi Simons theoretically could be one, but starting off on the bench, so that's a bit of a risky one. Bournemouth have Leeds, so Semenyo. I mean, I captained him last week. He didn't do anything, but he still got 5 points, so he still matched Salah. So huge win for me. I mean, kind of a win there for me. João Pedro, Brighton at home.
I like that narrative.
That's another one.
João Pedro, you know.
It's another one. There's a few there.
He had a rest in the week too.
He did.
Yep.
He did.
Didn't
So
play.
yeah, Tottenham, Bournemouth, Chelsea, decent fixtures if you have those assets.
I think Ndai at Everton at home to West Ham is definitely a cheeky one. Maybe Semenyo away at Leeds is another one you could look at. But away at Leeds is Ellen Road. That's a bit risky. And Doku at home to Burnley. That's
any Man City.
That's where he's going.
I'm not sure if I'm going to do it, but it's definitely an option. I think I'll probably stick with João Pedro, to be honest.
Should we be watching João Pedro now and go, he's still completely like top of his game, great FPL asset? Or do we look at it and go, we bank the points early, but long term, he is someone we can hold? Is he a better or worse option with Cole Palmer out injured? I'm trying to work that out myself. I don't know.
I don't think for me it makes too much of a difference, purely because he's guaranteed to play.
Yeah.
When Cole Palmer's not there, yes, he's going to get maybe more chances per se, but then there's also a sharing of the goals maybe, because João Pedro also can create for others. I think when Cole Palmer's not there, you have to create for João Pedro. João Pedro has to be the goal scorer because you're not really guaranteeing goals from out wide. There's some guys that will chip in, but they haven't shown to be prolific or consistent in terms of goals. Cole Palmer's the only person that can do that. So there's pros and cons to Cole Palmer being there and him not being there as well. I think there's too much good valuation for money, I think, for João Pedro to take him out.
Have they linked up for a goal yet? Surely they must have.
This season...
Who, João Pedro Palmer?
Yeah.
Club World Cup final was their link.
Not in the Premier League.
But
I don't think in the Premier League,
Was that the... Yeah, I feel like Club World Cup final was definitely one of the goal in the final.
He should get pens, really. Like.
Yeah, he should. I don't know why Enzo Fernandez was taking him anyway.
That was a weird game, Frenzo. That was the game at half-time where he was being gobby towards the bench, wasn't he?
Yeah,
there was something that happened.
He had a
Strop at half-time or something.
He had a really bad performance that game and then he got the pen.
And is Enzo your captain if Reece James isn't on?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
But Enzo Fernandez is in poor form, so I don't even know if he's going to start.
Yeah.
João Pedro is a good shout, though.
In the chat we see Quazim says João Pedro versus Brighton. Michael says Bruno after Haaland. Haaland's a no-brainer, says Quazim. There's options there. There's good options, but I do think it's going to be the world and their dog. It's going to feel like you're captain Haaland. If you don't own Haaland like a Matisse, you've done the right thing. Bring in a different Man City attacker and captain them, and just hope that the points do go to a Foden or a Doku, but you're still covering some of the Haaland points. So I like that. Get your questions in. We'll try and answer some. Ekatike is suspended. That's right. Khalid is captaining João Pedro as well. We would love you to hit that like button. Over 400 of you are watching. Also, do consider hitting the subscribe button today if you're not already subbed. If you've also got a question that we can't get to live in the chat and you're watching on catch up, we will address that question in the comments below. So do continue to get them in. We didn't really speak Spurs. Nick, you rightly just mentioned them.
Yeah.
Kudos 2 assists last week, 6.5 million. Spurs have got good fixtures. My only issue with Spurs is the Thursday night distractions at times, but that squad's looking good, and I feel like they'll keep lots of clean sheets. We've already seen a few this season, but if we're picking one Spurs player, is Xavi Simons the pick, or is Kudos the pick?
I've gone with Xavi Simons, and I thought about this for a while, and last week it kind of haunted me because Kudos two assists, was it in the end? 2 or 1?
2.
So I thought Kudos again is the safer option. You know, he's going to start week in, week out, and he's been a goal threat out wide consistently. Xavi Simons, again, I go back to higher ceiling on set pieces. If he starts a bit more in the 10 and get a bit more involved, because he's been out wide quite a bit for Tottenham. But yeah, if you're looking at attacking, it is those two. I might just about at the moment edge it to Kudos.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like you know what you're getting from him. Backline as well, Van der Ven just for the price. He's a 4.5, isn't he? Or 4.6 he might have moved up to. But I think Romero's a 5. Oh, he's at 4. Van der Ven's at 4.7 now.
Oh, he's gone up. So probably worth spending the extra on Romero then if you can
reckon?
for 0.3. Because I feel like Romero's
best threat from set pieces.
Yeah,
he is,
they're definitely looking for Romero at corners.
Yeah.
Nice. How are we feeling about this week then, gents? Green arrows all round? Matisse?
Yeah. If it gets any worse from here, then wow, I'm shocked. You know what I mean? It has to be green arrows, surely.
It can't get worse, can it? It can't get worse.
Whatever I'm serving up last week.
You were flying the first few weeks. I feel like you were miles ahead of both of us. Now I think Nick's marginally ahead, then me, then Matisse.
Marginally. We're not doing great, is that? That's a trio right now.
Couple weeks.
But the thing is, I feel like I'm making good decisions. I feel like, and also, I feel like my wild card is future proof.
Yeah, I like that.
And that's what I did it for. Like, for example, the Arsenal
term.
triple up, I know Man City, Newcastle, not great. After that, it's good.
What are you doing this week with your captaincy?
Oh, I think I'm tripling Haaland.
You're going to do triple captain?
I think so.
Yeah, I think I am. I'm doing it as well.
I think I might. Yeah, I think I have FOMO if I don't.
Yeah, I'm going triple captain. All I need is a picture of Haaland training on Thursday or Friday, or Pep in his press conference to say he's not injured, and then I'm all in. Triple captain Haaland.
Even if it's still a bit of a question, I'll still captain him anyway.
Yeah.
Even if I don't triple captain, I'll still captain him and just hope my vice does well.
I'm going to say my triple captain for next week,
Gyökeres.
Yeah,
that could be spicy. If Potter's in the job, that'll be a good one.
I need to make gains on the rest of the community, and I feel like this is the game week swing here. If Haaland has a stinker and Gyökeres doesn't,
I do feel like he's going to be just a flat track bully. Gyökeres. He's only going to score against bottom half teams. I like that. Guys, thank you as always for watching. Thank you to everyone in the chat and your comments. Thank you to Matisse and Nick, and we'll see you again. Well, the weekend preview. Stay tuned. 15 minutes time.
Yep.